welcome back to the CEL. Today we have another matchup between Team Billy and RK or Ravenous Kumquats, way up in our Shuriman bracket. I'm Baby, or Hunter if you'd like to call me that, and I'm joined by Shadow, who will be our color commentator for this match.
Absolutely.
Now, awesome. So, we've got a really interesting pick ban here, and I sort of just want to throw it right into that and take a look at what we got here.
Okay. Well, starting with the pick ban, something that I found that was really interesting was that they started with a Trundle ban on red side, which kind of gives away the fact that they're going to be drafting a tanky jungler, and it gives away a lot of their potential for jungle picks. So that's a
Absolutely, that makes sense.
huge issue that I think I see, but they might have an idea of what they want to go with. Like they might want to fool the enemy into picking something tanky, and then they could have picked something a lot more damaging. So I believe that is a good option.
feel like
Also on the same side, they are super AD heavy. They are looking with the Zed, Tristana, Kled. They're looking to engage with a lot of that heavy damage, and they're looking for the picks more so than the team fight.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, Zed's a really weird pick, but we saw him come out here anyways. Do you have any insight into why?
The Zed pick is pretty good at taking out backline squishies. I wouldn't have gone it right after seeing a set, which is really awkward. But if the player has a lot of experience on Zed, then he might come out and do a great job, honestly.
That makes a lot of sense. What do you think about win cons for these two team comps?
The win condition for Team Billy definitely is to group up and look for the team fight, while the win condition for
Ravenous Kumquats?
Ravenous Kumquats is definitely to look for picks. So they're going to be roaming around hoping to grab whoever they can and capitalize off of getting good kills on their Tristana and Zed and possibly their Kled.
That sounds really interesting. Looks like a lot of fun. Now we're going to move into game here, and we'll see how this plays out. Awesome. Now, as we see teams leaving the base, we see some really, I don't know, fun skins. What is that Ash skin? What is that Ash skin?
I don't know, actually.
That's super interesting. So level 1s. We see the Vegars picking up pretty normal items. That's starting with the longsword. And
Get out debate, but they're looking for a pretty standard split. Really bot lane heavy, actually.
yeah, we see two people sitting in the tri-brush there, waiting to see if they maybe they can pick off someone coming in for an invade. Maybe they can harass the enemy bot laner if they get too aggressive.
Mordekaiser is sitting back pretty far for top side, not giving his team much vision.
That might be a conceit to the power of the level 1 Kled as well, right? Maybe
Absolutely.
don't want to get hit by the Kled pull, and then the Kled just trades on you, and you're afraid that maybe the Zed collapses onto the Veigar if he tries to help and whatnot. We do see the Sejuani starting blue side, Set starting red side, so they should be square up for a very interesting 3-15 crab fight on top side. A lot based on mid lane and top lane priority to see who's able to win that.
Yeah. Laning phase for the Veigar and Zed should be pretty neutral. Zed should be able to harass out the Veigar early if he abuses his energy mechanic, which should come into play a bit later into the lane phase.
Makes a lot of sense. We see pretty trade-heavy bot lane here between Ash Volleys and just Nami's entire kit. Whereas the Tristan as the ADC and the Leona as the support both favor really all-in engagements. So it's sure to be bloody down here.
Seems like they're definitely doing a lot of damage to that Leona to start off, especially. Possibly prepping her for maybe possibly early play, maybe.
Yeah, trying to play around the level 2 all-in, trying to get what you can.
Yeah.
Mordekaiser trying to hold the wave a little bit, put Kled in a really bad spot for when the set is done his blue side clear.
Yeah.
You see trading mid lane, the Zed's getting some harassment onto the Veigar, which is going to be expected. Sejuani just finishing up her red buff while Set moves on to the Crab and looks to see if he can spot out the Sejuani actually at red buff, but 2 ships passing in the night. Sejuani is doing the same thing to Set's blue buff right now. If you look on the minimap, Kled's actually in a really interesting position for getting
Kled's playing
Set
really
here.
forward. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Looks like we're getting an early 2v2 in the top lane. Kled goes in, engaging onto Mordekaiser with the Q, dashing in with the... Mordekaiser comes in with the shield. Set coming in to back up with the counter gank. But Sejuani's on her way up, looking to protect the Kled. Kled's trying to get the remount. He's hitting the Kled, Haymaker misses, gets flashed by the Kled, and the remount comes out. First blood to Kled.
What an impressive skill, showing the junglers, showing that they'll rotate and counter a gank. Especially impressive for the Sejuani, knowing when to come in and not overshow.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Sejuani holding her time right there, baiting the Set in, trying to make him think that he can get the kill on the top lane on the Kled. But the Kled makes the outplay, flashes the Haymaker, and gets in time. Flash down bot lane by Ashe, going in on the Na'Vi. Na'Vi has no flash! She's almost dead. Heal comes in just in time, and she just escapes. That is summoners down. Both flashes bot lane, all summoners on the side of TB. And only the flashes down on the side of Ravenous Kumquats.
Seems to be so much action down bot lane, especially considering that they wanted to take that early dive, and they seem to get equally as punished for it. Really well played as blue side.
Yeah, very well played from TB. Team Billy there coming out ahead in the trade in that they have more. Oh, but a bubble hit. Tristana's going in on the Ashe, but the Set's there to counter. 1 for 1. Tristana will get the kill onto Ashe, and Leona will get the kill back onto the Tristana. Now, the kill going onto Tristana here, probably good, right? But there's actually a big wave crashing. We see more trading in the mid lane. Zed's going in onto the Veigar. Doesn't go for the all-in. Close though. One more auto attack and he might have been able to flash EQ Ignite. Zed's really playing...
Yep. The Veigar seems to be playing this lane really forward and really dominantly, which is kind of unusual.
Yeah, it's I think the Veigar really wants to get some push advantage in this lane against the Zed with his early mana if he can, so that he can contest the jungle scuttles. But it's not doing too much work for him right now. Oh, and the Zed goes in just like that. Boom, Q, Q, W, W, dead. That's a big advantage for Zed in mid lane now.
Zed with some early gold, and red team overall having a lot of pressure. It's really impressive, and it's actually playing a lot into their win conditions with having the gold being on both the Zed and Tristana so far. Even though that she's down a bit in CS currently.
Yeah, really good kill dispersal. But we do see an actual massive gold advantage being built up, despite the huge CS advantage in bot lane and top lane. What's that about?
I think that comes a lot to how they're playing out their lane phase. They're playing really aggressively, playing forward, and they're really allowing themselves to take advantage of their quick burst and engage.
Makes a lot of sense. We will see that Ashe's flash still down, Leona flash still down, Tristan and Nami the same thing. Their flash is on very similar timers bot lane, so any engage is going to result in deaths in this bot lane at this point. And whoever hits 6 first is really, really going to look to push that advantage.
especially with 6 coming up real soon. The Leona Ashe 6 is nothing to be scared. Like something
Nothing
definitely
to
to
scoff
fear.
at, right? It's very
Uh,
strong.
Absolutely. Leona could just drop down her ulti and quick follow up from the Ashe, and that would be so much DPS, and it's really hard to stop.
Meanwhile, top lane, we continue to see just casual trades between Mordekaiser and Fled. Mordekaiser open and engage going in on bot lane. Tristana jumps out and bubble the counter. Looks like Sejuani's here for the counter gank. Only level 5 though, no ulti yet. Onto the Leona looking to stack her passive, but there's only one melee here. Leona's still gonna go down from the flash from the Sejuani. Another kill going down to the bot lane of RK. Kill
Very
does
impressive.
get picked up by the Nami though.
They pressed the vision in just the right way, and it definitely allowed their jungle to come right down there.
Oh, Tristana's going in for the trade, but the Ashe wants it back. She doesn't care. Lots of damage going down, both 80 carries low, but only one of them has a pocket Nami.
Red side definitely is getting their fix with bot lane, and they're getting as much pressure as they currently have ever needed.
Mordekaiser ult comes out top lane looking for that Kled, but that Kled is here to fight. Whether he wants to or not, he's looking to remount. Flashes the Q, gets back on the mount, Qs him back in, dashes again. That Kled's looking for the fight, but that Mordekaiser won't die. Kled ulting out of the fight, both top laners low, both top laners blowing ulti. Only Kled uses flash.
Very impressive matchup with the Mordekaiser and Kled. Kled seemed to take it really calmly and try to just kite out, getting his getting Skarl back. It was very well done.
Yeah, I really think the Kled up top, Roscoe, looking to, in fact, getting limit tested by Illuminati on the Mordekaiser. The Mordekaiser just bare like, I'm gonna ult you, and I'm gonna see if you're good enough to outplay me. And he said, well, obviously I am. I'm playing against you, aren't I? And both top laners walk away, one of them short a flash.
I'm sure that's quick to change, especially with Kled rushing that Blade the Ruin King. I'm sure that will definitely see that 1v1 might not go in the same direction again.
Absolutely. The matchup, oh, Leona misses her engage. Tristana sees it, engages onto the Ashe, but the Ashe gets out of the way of the Nami wave. Leona re-engages onto the Tristana. Tristana super low. Not too far behind. Tristana flashing out, burning heal, burning ult. Whereas Ashe had to do the exact same thing. Tristana does have to reset though. Nami low mana.
We're beginning to see the gold difference pile up and get covered by the Ashe just by CS alone. Like,
yeah, absolutely. We do see a gank coming in top lane though. Set onto the Kled. Kled fighting the Mordekaiser. He doesn't care. He's looking to remount again. Another outplay from the Kled, maybe? No, not enough. He won't get the remount in time. Zed coming top lane though. Answering onto the Mordekaiser. Will kill him with the ulti proc. Looking for the 2v1 onto the Set. But Set has Haymaker!
wow.
Gets the double kill.
I wasn't 100% certain with the Zed going in that he'd come out with a kill there, but when he did that much burst damage, it was really impressive. That's definitely credited to the lethality that he just got by finishing up that Yumu's.
Yeah, absolutely, and you see some of the advantage from mid lane spilling over. That early kill on the Veigar helping him complete that Yomu's, which not only means he gets to the fight fast enough thanks to the move speed, but also gets to pick up the kill and nearly outplays the Set as well.
Okay, so looking bot lane, again, the items that they're going for with the Blade the Ruin King, and it looks like they're looking for the Storm Edge, I believe it's called, for the Tristana.
Yeah, the Storm Razor looking to come out on Tristana. Looking to get that slow, even more CC, even more burst damage. Just looking to one-shot the squishies, be it the Ashe or the Veigar, or maybe even the Mordekaiser if you catch him without W.
Absolutely. So, across jungle, it seems like Sejuani's been farming up. Currently over by the Herald, it seems. Let's see, what else?
Sejuani is hitting the Herald. Looks like it's going to be uncontested. I don't think Team Billy want to try and take a fight around the Herald right now. They don't have anyone on the top side of the map, obviously. Oh, but you have another engaged bot lane.
Wow.
Zed fought onto the Ashe. Ashe is dead instantly. Tristana keeps jumping around, Goomba stomping them. Kills the Leona as well. Double kill to Tristana. And that's going to be some turret plates for the Tristana.
Very clean exchange coming down from the Zed, rotating exactly when they needed them to. Now it's Set's left down bot lane just to hold out.
Yeah, Set just coming in, trying to answer the wave when he can. Sejuani in the middle of that did pick up the Rift Herald and is looking to posture it, probably use it around mid or bot lane, and then transition into the second Dragon spawn. You have another trade going on top lane. I guess this one is going to turn into an all-in. Kled's looking to remount again. Inside the Mordekaiser ult, does get the remount in time. Very close, though. I don't think he can keep the fight. Zed ulting in onto the Veigar, looking to create some pressure for his team to take Dragon. Top lane still fighting. Kled gets dismounted again. Ulti wasted. Mordekaiser looking to dive him under the turret and will secure it with the Mace of Spades. Tristana jumping over the wall, looking to find the Set, but can't quite reach him.
So it seems that the Dragon advantage is definitely leaning towards blue now, and they've been getting.
Stole the Dragon.
Yeah, it's very impressive. The armor that the Mordekaiser is getting is actually helping him so much with the Kled fights. It actually made it so a fight that was normally pretty close is now one-sided almost.
Yeah, and you mentioned this when we were discussing about the draft, but it's a very heavy AD team comp coming out of Ravenous Kumquats. What do you think that's going to amount to? Because we already see the Seeker's Arm Guard top and mid, and the Ninja Tab Eyes in top and jungle, and I don't think we'll see that stopping anytime soon. Just a lot of armor to get through for this full AD team comp, isn't it?
The only thing that would start bursting through a little bit of it, but that's only with Tristana and for 3 hits. It's not going to be enough to get past that thick armor, I don't think.
Absolutely, and that's got to be a concern if you're Ravenous Kumquats here. Trying to get through the armor stacking on Team Billy is going to be real difficult. That Leona is just going to stack full armor, Thornmail, Knight's Vow whenever she wants. Mordekaiser's going to rush the Zhonya's, of course. The Veigar is already rushing the Zhonya's. And we see another engaged bot lane. Leona ulti comes out, Ashe ulti comboed with it. Not enough, though. Tristana gets the kill, hops out again! What an outplay!
Very
1v3! That Tristana's a problem, though, no matter how much armor they're stacking. More fights going on top lane. Mordekaiser is getting the better of this one, as he has for the last couple fights. Gets the ulti on the Kled. Kled might not remount in time. Flashes away. Q's away. Auto. Gets the remount in time. Tries to run away. Eddie looks like he's actually out. Meanwhile, bot lane, they're hitting the turret.
The priority in every lane so far, except for that top lane. It seems like it's going to become a huge problem. And as soon as we start seeing that Mordekaiser roam around, we're going to see like what these teams really have to answer each other.
Absolutely. We see the Rift Herald being dropped mid lane, looking to maybe secure the tier 2 mid after tier 1 has already fallen. The Veigar cage will interrupt it and trap the Tristana. Tristana tries to jump out too early, gets killed by the Veigar. Set's going in. Zed is ulting onto the Set. Sejuani ults the Set. Haymaker does not care, and he is out.
The Set seems to have grabbed another cloth armor, which just drives in the fact that all this armor is just eventually going to stack up.
Well, what's he going to build with it? Because we see the Kindle Gem, and that would say maybe Knight's Vow to me, but isn't Leona already building that?
I assume he might continue going for a Dead Man's maybe, because it's a standard item on Set, but it's really strange seeing the Kindle Gem also.
Yeah, maybe like Black Cleaver and just he wants cloth armor for raw armor. I'm not sure.
Certainly a possibility. Black Cleaver is another standard item, which would fit the scenario, but not many of them are building too much armor either.
Yeah, it's indeed. I'm very interested to see what that Kindle Gem turns into.
Absolutely.
Now, where do you fall on getting early armor penetration for outside of lethality? I mean, like last whisper items on this team, because it looks like there's a lot of armor stacking going on already.
I believe it's going to be a necessity. You might want to look for the Last Whisper, at least on Tristanic. It might even be considered on Zed after his second lethality item, just because there's just so much armor going to be in.
Huge burst going down on a Tristana. Wait, they trade. Veigar ulti comes in, kills Tristana, not fully respecting the Veigar damage, but the Veigar himself does fall to the Tristana ulti and E combo.
A lot of gold.
Yeah, and we do see, if we look at the gold here, we do see Veigar and Tristana both have a lot of gold. Zed also up there. Tristana and Zed all the way up at 7k, Veigar at 6.3k. Trying to keep up, but there is a still pretty large advantage for the carries on Ravenous Kumquats.
The things that Ravenous Kumquats are going to have to be really careful about is if their carries do get picked out, that's a lot of their gold value. So whatever's left behind is not going to be able to stand up against the equivalent on the other side.
Hold up, we see a Kled engage coming in. Gets onto the Leona with the Sejuani coming in as well. Giant Leona ulti onto multiple members. But that's not enough because it's a 5v2 right now. Zed gets out. Zed onto the Ashe looking for the kill. She will get death marked. Mordekaiser into the fight. Looking to ulti someone, looking to get the ulti off onto a squishy, gets it off onto Nami, looking to finish up that kill, but will he die when he comes out of the death throw? Veigar posturing to help, zoning out the Tristana, but Nami will just live, but she'll walk into the cage as she exits the death throw. She cannot get out of there. No, Mordekaiser pulls in 3, gets a massive Q, keeps going, will not stop this fight. Zed still in 1v2, gets caged, that's a 5 for 3 for Team Billy. Holy cow, that team fight never stopped. They're looking to turn onto this Ocean Dragon, putting them at Ocean Point.
That team fight just flat out turned the tides of the game. It went from a game where it looked almost red favored to straight up an even game, with dragons being put towards blue side. There's gonna be a huge advantage of having these 3 drakes. Now they can force any dragon fight that's gonna come, unless if they are willing to give away a Ocean Soul.
Absolutely, and Ocean Soul being the most powerful Dragon Soul, I think by most high-level players' admission, just makes it so hard to trade, especially when they're already playing into a very tanky team. It's going to be so hard to get any kills with this primarily burst damage team against people who are just stacking armor and Zhonya's and then regenning for Moondew HP while they're in them.
Looks like the top lane of jungle and
we do see Sejuani just trying to keep up in farm. Actually, a really good job keeping up with the set in farm. Set can have a lot of pressure in the Sejuani set matchup, but it can be often very difficult for the Sejuani to find her opportunities, but she's done a good job this game.
Overall, both junglers have done an excellent job of keeping in touch with their lanes, it seems. Especially coming in when they're needed, and not wasting time sitting around outside of the lanes.
Absolutely. We see another fight going on top lane, but it's not a 1v1 anymore. The Nami's here to help the Kled, but the Kled mount falls off. The heal's useless. And he gets Mordekaiser ulted. He flashes a Q, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Mordekaiser comes up with the 2v1. That Mordekaiser's a problem.
Yeah, that Mordekaiser's going to be something that I don't think anyone can handle by themselves currently.
Another engage going onto the set. The Sejuani's coming in. Zed's trying to get the pick onto the set. Set ults in. Haymaker almost kills Tristana. 100-0. What a champion. Zed trying to fight Mord. Oh my god. Mordekaiser can't die either. Zed does not care. He Tiger secures the kill on Tristana. Zed's not dead. He won't die. He finally falls down. Ashe and Leona taking the bot lane turret.
Set and more of these unkillable titans top lane that are
It was a 2-for-1. I don't know what happened.
It's so absurd. watching the Mordekaiser and Set go from 0 HP and still win their 1v1s.
I got debated. I thought Set already used Takemaker. I thought he was dead. I was looking at the mini-map and he was still alive. That's the CDR right there. Coming in from that Black Cleaver. He did pick up.
Yep. So it seems
man.
like that with the armor, it's making these team fights just last forever, and more and more people are able to get to them, and it's making blue side be able to react to, oh, Mordekaiser's top lane, Mordekaiser's fighting someone. Well, he's going to be there for a long time because they're not going to kill him instantly. So they can send someone there and respawn and make it into a more even fight, and they get so much more out of it that way.
That makes, like, absolutely. And we even see the Mordekaiser making what I think is a really smart move this game and not itemizing straight into the Zhonya's. Because he knows no one on the enemy team can one-shot him, and he was already winning his lane against the Kled. So just focus on snowballing damage more. The Zed tries to get caught out by the Veigar. Veigar does not press the right button. I do that a lot, I'm gonna be honest. Especially when I'm playing GLP champions. I try and GLP someone, and I'll just T-pose on them.
I'll be honest, I'll have only one item in my entire inventory and I'll still somehow press it.
And I'll still somehow Zhonya's, and I don't even have one.
Okay.
We do see Leona did pick up the Knight's Vow, probably threw that onto the Ashe or onto the Mordekaiser just to keep them tanky, keep them healing.
Red side getting as much vision on the dragon as possible, especially considering that they don't want that soul to go over to blue.
Holy cow, look at that. Look at all those wards. We see the dragon will be spawning. I don't have my timestamps on. Dragon spawning in 40 seconds. Which means they really need to get the Zed out of top lane, which you see they're doing here, transitioning Zed onto the bot side of the map, ensuring the top side has both of their TPs available so that they can match 5v5. See the Ashe arrow coming out of the Nami, that's a pick, she is dead to rights. Good pick from the Ashe, good spot, a little bit greedy from the Nami looking for too many deep wards.
With the numbers difference now, it's going to be really hard for Red to even try to contest this. They're clearing out the vision, they're making it so that if they do fight them, they're going to be at a player disadvantage.
Yeah, we see one ward behind them though, maybe Kled can TP to it. We see the Sejuani ult miss, team fight's initiated. Set, engaging onto the Sejuani, pulls her back into the team. Set, the Kled is joining the fight. Sejuani so low, looking to die, gets healed by the Tristana. Ashe can't finish it, Mordekaiser done. Kled in the Veigar cage, down the Mordekaiser ult too. Mordekaiser doesn't care, he'll kill the Kled anyways. That's a 5 versus 2 Ocean Soul on the map, gonna take mid turret first. And then maybe even transition into a Baron. This game is looking really, really hard for Ravenous Kumquats to come back in.
Especially with a early Red favor with getting those early picks onto the carries too.
Nami, but misses the bubble. Tristana's still going in the cage, but it doesn't respect the Veigar damage. Ashe turns, gets another 2 kills. That's a 5 for 0. That's an Ocean Soul. This is gonna be a prompt victory, I would say, for Team Billy.
It seems like a lot of the players didn't even start going for their Mortal Reminder or any form of like armor pen aside from the lethality on the Zed.
Yeah, and I think this we're gonna see another engage here, look for a kill onto Sejuani. I don't think they can get it. Well, actually, no, the Sejuani is on RK, so no, she is dead. But, Ashe ult coming in top lane, looking for the Kled, looking to turret dive him. Mordekaiser ulti is up, but Kled will flash out. I think here's a good time to highlight some of the draft issues that we had here. Obviously, there's the full AD team comp, but also the fact that Veigar really wants to... Oh my god, dude is dead. Veigar really forces out QSSs out of AD carries if they want to walk into team fights. And the Tristana is so pressured on what items she can and can't build right now. She needs a Mortal Reminder, she needs a QSS, she needs Infinity Edge, she needs the second crit item. She needs 4 items to be able to participate in these team fights, and that's just not achievable at this point in the game.
It was really smart of Blue side to draft the Mordekaiser so late into the draft. It was their last pick, and it left very little room for Red to even answer and have any viable pick against it.
Exactly. And I think this is a really good job in the draft from Team Billy. Really showing in their stuff here, showing that they can deal with the Zed pick even in a counter matchup. Only giving over the 1 death, not giving over too much pressure is definitely still serviceable in a lane that is that lopsided. We see the Baron going down. The Sejuani's going to look for a steal. Ulti goes in, hits onto 2. Sejuani comes in, but holy cow, Set face breakers are out of the dash and leaves her onto the other side of the wall. That's an outplay. And he smited the Baron at the same time.
That was a very impressive play as far as that goes. The facebreaker stopping him on the wall, it's kind of outrageous.
Yeah, that's absurd, actually. I've never seen that in my life. Definitely, that's one of the most impressive and weird setup plays I've ever seen.
As far as gold goes, it's way one-sided with almost a 10k lead with Blue, and item advantage on all the carries, pretty much.
Yeah, I think it's just, we're going to walk it down bot lane, we're going to get 3 inhibs, we're going to close it out the simple way. Team Billy's going to win this game, Ashero goes wide, Zed has Youmu's to dodge it. But it's just, they have to walk it in. The only way that this game can be turned is if they find a really ridiculous pick onto 1 or more of the carries. And we're looking for it here. This is a 2v5 mid lane. Set's caught by the Kled ult. Set's looking to survive. Haymaker, but he's still not dead. Holy cow, Veigar trades 1 back onto the Zed. And then the Kled falls to the Mordekaiser. And it's still not enough. It's just 2 versus 5. They can't kill the Kled in the Set in time. Even with the Kled ult, even with all the Tristana damage. He just ults the Zed into his team. Zed dies. Kled dies soon after. They're going to walk it down, take the Nexus. This is going to be 1-0 for Team Billy.
The Set has always taken his life and taken so much value out of it, honestly. They seem to be able to just...
Mordekaiser, good guy Mordekaiser, saving Nami from the Veigar one-shot. Saying, nope, my KDA is more important than yours. Nami will fall eventually to the Ash. I guess they had a blood pact with the AD carry, had to make sure they did not get a negative score line. Solo laners really hard carried this game. Solo laners and armor.
It was very impressive, especially going into that game. The draft was very impressive, and the execution on top of that. I honestly thought that Blue side was going to play through mostly bottom and mid, but Mordekaiser came out, and he became such a huge asset for that game.
Yeah, just having the absolute pressure sink in top lane, where Mordekaiser was just exerting so much pressure, and the Kled can't do anything to answer until he's completed his first core item, which was just delayed so much by the Mordekaiser's ruthless aggression with his ultis.
As far as that game goes, I think we should start looking towards what they should look at for a draft, honestly. They saw that their picking team comp might not work too well against them, so what do you think they might want to look towards, honestly?
I think we start with diversifying damage types. Obviously, you don't want to have an all AD comp into a bunch of carries that can very easily build early armor, and it can be pretty disastrous as we saw here. Despite a really good early game coming out of Kumquats, it just wasn't enough to carry through once the armor started stacking and once the Mordekaiser and Veigar and Ashe all got online with the front line in front of them. As well as I'd like to see more focus on counterpicking in lanes rather than just sort of going even other than mid. But mid was already a blind pick.
I absolutely agree, especially considering that Red side had the ban advantage going into it. They could counterpick three times across that draft. So it's really impressive seeing Blue come out of that and do great.
Absolutely. I think we should move on to our next game now. So we're going to have a brief intermission, and then we'll be back for Game 2 of Team Billy versus Kumquats. Welcome back to CasualEAL Week 2, Day 4. We're about to get into Game 4, Ravenous Kumquats versus Team Billy Game 2. In Game 1, we saw Ravenous Kumquats pick a all AD composition and come out to what amounts to actually a pretty sizable early advantage. But unfortunately, they proved the old adage that your teammates are right to flame you solo queue for picking 5 AD when Team Billy's armor items came online, and they were not able to actually push the advantage past that due to compositional mismatch.
Team Billy last game drafted a awesome team fight based comp, and uh, last game, Ravenous did not do the same. So when it came down to that same team fight over and over, it made it very difficult for them to match that.
Absolutely. Now, we all already talked about a little bit of the things we want to see happen in pick bans, so let's just get right into it and see what ended up happening.
Okay.
We see in this draft between Team Billy and Ravenous Kumquats, we still see the Zed in there, but luckily, damage is much more diversified this game.
Yes, the damage is a lot more diversified. And I think that's a brand APC, which with a Nami is actually kind of good, especially considering Nami can proc her spell bubbles, and they will proc off brand spells, and that makes a high burst, high AOE kind of lane
Yeah,
without the
absolutely.
traditional AD carry.
Yeah, and it's weird, really weird to see the brand come in, but it does look like it was a preemptive counter pick to whatever they're pairing with the Lulu, whatever hyper carry you want to throw down there, and just saying like, I dare you to pick a Kog'Maw, I dare you to pick a Vayne into me, and we do see that Team Billy did end up eventually picking the Vayne.
I think the Lulu Vayne is definitely where Team Billy is gonna try to get their advantage on, considering that that's a hyper carry right there. So if Vayne gets ahead, she can definitely flex her lead, and it won't matter how tanky the Zac or Mord are. It will do tons of damage. On the
Absolutely.
other side, uh, now they have the flip side effect where they have four people that do magic damage, and Zed's their only physical damage. So they went from having 480, like 4 or 5 AD threats last game, to having four AP threats. So now you might see the MR stack.
Yeah, and that's really dangerous as well. Thankfully, the Vayne can't get away with just stacking MR thanks to the Zed, because the Zed will still one-shot her if she dares not build second item Phantom Dancer.
That's
But
why I really like the Lulu pick, though. Honestly,
exactly. That's where the Lulu comes into this. This Vayne can probably just build Mob Malmortius and not care. She
absolutely.
doesn't. Yeah. What are
Um,
they gonna do to her?
it seems like
Vayne's.
the Vayne, if she positions correctly, we might see a huge like carry performance on her. But that is determined on how she gets out of this lane phase. If she doesn't get out of this lane phase against the brand Nami and she gets super oppressed, it's going to make the rest of her game very difficult.
Absolutely. Beyond that, we see that Ravenous Kumquats still have a very early game spiking composition that will in no way be able to keep up with Vayne, Lulu, Veigar late game. So they really need to push this win for probably Dragon Soul by 27 minutes at the latest if they want to be able to take this win,
Yeah,
as well
if this
as two
goes
item
to
spikes.
Soul, this might be a huge issue for Ravenous Kumquats. Just off the mere fact that the scaling on Team Billy.
All right, and I think that sets up the game really well. Let's get into it.
Absolutely. Immediate pings coming right off.
I'm having a little bit of issue with my client, so I'm going to need you to hold this for a second.
Okay, absolutely.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
So, right away to the 5 point for blue side. Lulu and Veigar are slow on the out for
30 seconds
a
until
red.
minions spawn.
Really standard itemization across the board. Uh, and looking around, Set is top side, not granting too much vision for compared to the 5 point of blue. but they double stack the Vayne and Lulu.
All right, all good here.
Minions have
Awesome.
spawned.
Great.
Sorry about that. My client was being a little bit of a pain in the butt. Yeah, of course. So we see pretty standard jungle items, pretty standard 5 points with no invade coming out. And we do see actually 2 stopwatches in the jungle and in the mid lane, probably trying to play around Zed ulti timings if they can.
Absolutely. Something I did notice though was the exhaust pickup from Lulu, which is I find kind of strange considering it's gonna be useful when the Zed comes, but in lane phase it might not serve as much use as against a traditional ADC.
Yeah, I think that makes some sense. I think one of the big concerns with taking exhaust here, if I'm playing the Lulu, is I might not want to be in range of the brand to exhaust him.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, I think their goal is to just not fight in lane whatsoever and just scale into late game. Maybe the caveat to that is maybe Lulu takes heal and Vayne takes exhaust or cleanse or barrier, but otherwise I just don't see this bot lane wanting to take aggressive fights or all-ins.
Absolutely. So it's really good. It seems that Zed's definitely pressuring mid lane just like usual. Bot lane becoming a poke fest. Wow.
And, holy cow, what happened? Where'd the Nami go? What? What? Alright, nerf fade. Level 2 power spike is too strong. Can we get a replay? I missed that one, I blinked. Nami's dead. Level 2 advantage goes over to the main Lulu. And that's pretty damning for that lane state. When you pick a kill lane like Brand, Nami, and you're not able to get the level 2 advantage, and you're not able to, much less you lose this hard level 2 to a hard scaling lane, there's a problem. We see another trade going on top. Mordekaiser, oh, he does have W. Gets the W in time, does survive, burns flash. Set's huge advantage. Set flashes in on the Mordekaiser, and we're just gonna ignore it. We're looking bot lane. I guess Mordekaiser lived. He lived. Set also lived.
So
No
what
one
I'd
has
be doing
flash top lane.
if I were the blue side jungler, at this point I'd be looking to get advantage in both mid lane and top lane as much as possible, for sure.
The Haymaker kills the Mordekaiser. Okay. Excellent play coming out top lane from Illuminati on the set.
Without
Great
a doubt.
trade. Mordekaiser not fully respecting the set damage, and not respecting the set Haymaker, and not respecting the set HP regen, but does make it worth his time. Very, very difficult to get that. Both junglers reading the situation correctly, coming up to counter each other. Frag is looking mid lane, pressuring the Zed out of mid, giving his Veigar some space to farm, while he rotates bot lane for double scuttle. All in all, it's a really big advantage, really early game for Team Billy.
Team Billy has to be weary though of the fact that there still is a Zed in this game, and that can shut down one of the very big carries.
Alright.
Wow.
Okay. Got it. All in top lane. Set dead. Okay, my bad. Alright, I am off my game this game. Lots of weird things happening, lots of kills happening that I didn't know existed. Alright. We're going back into it. I'm watching LPL today, boys. I love it. Alright. No analysts. Get him out of here. It's double play by play for the rest of the game. Alright, so that Mordekaiser kill actually gives him a huge advantage going back to this lane. He does reset off of it, and he doesn't have to burn his TP. Nami fighting again. Nami getting engaged on by the Vayne, but the Lulu getting engaged on by the Brand. Lulu super low. Zac comes in for the counter gank. Onto the Lulu. Lulu getting low, but they can't quite finish her off. Chasing her down, gets the heal from Vayne. The bubble will miss, but Seer will hit. Finishes off the kill. Vayne trying to run away. 1v3. Frag is coming to back her up. Massive 3-man body slam. Going for the kill. Zac, but the Zed shows up for the double. Mordekaiser's there. That's a free dragon.
This is the worst case scenario for red team, honestly. Getting all those kills onto Zed, which was having a pretty even matchup against the Veigar. Like, now they have to be really, really scared of those roams that come mid.
Absolutely. And not showing enough respect bot lane. I think because the Vayne Lulu bot lane from Team Billy got the early kills, they're like, okay, we can continue pressuring this lane, because I'm fairly certain neither of them have played this lane before. It's not a common one. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I underestimate the amount of League of Legends everyone plays if I'm wrong. But it's a weird lane, and I think they're just playing off of the early advantage, being like, we can fight them. But the Zack's there to counter gank, to play off of this assumption that they can get another solo kill. It turns it around with the Zed roam.
There's currently a lot of gold on that Zed though, so I think he should probably look to back, honestly. Like, just push his lane forward and grab some items.
Yeah, Zed hasn't backed yet. He's sitting on 2,200 gold. Probably going to be able to back and just straight up a, well, half of a lethality item, depending on what he's going to build. And we see him probably going for Duskblade here.
Yeah.
Or a Youmuu's again. Veigar not rushing armor this game. I think that's a mistake. I think this Veigar is going to get solo killed multiple times out of his control at this point in time by this very, very large set.
I do agree with that. I think he should definitely be looking for the early Zhonya's components, just because, like, that Zed might be a problem, and I don't think he's giving much respect to it.
Yeah, it's definitely a worrisome. We'll see if it ends up working out that way. Maybe the Veigar's able to maintain enough lane pressure to force the Zed to roam. We see Zack sitting mid though, looking for the gank onto the Zed, and he goes in. Deathmark onto the Veigar, looking for the kill. Won't hit the stun. Deathmark almost there. Veigar almost dead. Will swap back out. Zed gets out just fine.
And that's exactly what we were just talking about. He needs to play as if he's playing against a fed Zed now. So he can't be taking the same liberties that he did in the previous matchup.
Yeah, and maybe if you have exhaust, it's enough to get you out of these sorts of situations, but certainly not with just barrier and no armor. You're gonna be looking at a lot of damage coming out of this 3-0 Zed now. Zack back bot lane. This man does not stop. He knows his team needs him to carry them into this early game and to carry them through to these early dragons to be able to win.
He is sitting on a lot of camps though topside, so this Gragas is getting a lot of gold just by rotating, keeping up with camps, and now he's bot side, so...
Now he's here for the counter game. Or looking to maybe even see if he can confirm. Now that pink ward going down. Oh, we see an engage going on top lane. Mordekaiser ults the Set. Set ults the Mordekaiser. They're both punching each other to death. And I don't know if anything is going to happen. Oh, wait, the Set might... Wait, who's going to win? I have no idea who's going to win. Oh my god, the Set dies!
God.
Mordekaiser with the outplay.
So close. What a close fight.
No one wanted to back down there. No one knew who was going to win. The casters didn't. The players didn't. Everyone's beating each other's face in with their fists. Or their mace. Or their passive. There's too much damage up there. No one wants to run away. No one's a weakling. They're all bloodthirsty. And Engage coming in a bot lane. A flash condemn onto the Brand looking for the kill. Brand has no flash. Cass coming in. Great Cass gets the kill onto the Brand.
What a wonderful Contem and Cass, like, going out. It was awesome CC combo through red side. Absolutely.
Great eyes on that Vayne there too. Just flash in, go for the condemn instantly, not afraid of the counter engage, knowing that that Brand is going to be CC'd for that entire time, knowing she can tumble to dodge the bubble if she needs to.
This CS difference bot lane is really adding up though, so this Vayne might come online faster than a normal Vayne would. We have to be really careful and watch out for that.
We see another engage going in mid lane. Same thing as before. Deathmark down onto the Veigar. That man doesn't stand a chance. I don't think armor would have saved him that time, though.
No. Honestly, what this Veigar needs to do is just try to look for a way to hold that lane in a safe spot. He can't be going past that river anymore, especially without vision.
Absolutely not. It's going to become a real problem very soon. Trying to survive against the Zed engage is not going to be easy. Even 1v1 without the Zack there and with barrier up, I don't know if he'll be able to do it anymore. See another fight coming out top lane. It's gonna turn into a punch fest again. Mordekaiser ult coming out. I don't think Set's gonna win this one though. He's still got Haymaker, but Haymaker's not enough. Mordekaiser with another solo kill. It's getting brutal up there too. That Bramble Vest makes that Set really unhappy.
Honestly, it's going to be a really difficult time dealing with both the Mord and the Zed now. Honestly.
Yeah, this is turning into a very snowballed game in favor of Ravenous Kumquats. We see they are forced off the dragon though, as Team Billy comes in, snipes it away. That's actually really, really bad for their late game chances losing that dragon there. I would have really liked to see the Mordekaiser start walking down after the solo kill and trying to contest, but the Set's back in. He's flashing in. But the Mordekaiser, he's just gonna walk away. He doesn't care about your damage, Set. You don't have any CC left. Oh, alright, and Set understands that he will not dive turret. Thankfully. Thankfully.
We don't need to see a nightmarish time having
that would have been a 9x right there. I would have called that one, that man tilt. Alright.
So overall, top lane, CS is staying the same, despite the fact that Mord has a huge lead with kills. Jungle, Gragas coming out with the 20 CS lead, and Zed still keeping up with tons of gold.
Yeah, and it's as you say, right? There's a massive CS advantage in bot lane, and quite a substantial one in jungle right now. And that's the only thing keeping this gold in check. It's only a 1k gold advantage for Ravenous Kumquats, despite the 8-3 kill advantage, despite the 4-0 Zed and the 3-1 Mordekaiser top lane.
Currently, Team Billy aren't a team without their bot laner and their jungler there, honestly.
And this is gonna be like, we have to watch, we have to Vayne spot this game. This Vayne is the 1v9 right now. The Veigar is going to be a cage, and he's gonna do 50% of someone's HP. If that, hopefully he absorbs the Zed ult. That's the dream. Zed gets engaged on. Maybe he can ulti out of this. Ultis the Mord under his turret, but is that gonna be enough to get away? It will. Zed continues to harass the Veigar under his own turret, puts him in kill range very easily, but Grag is coming top lane, engaging on the Mordekaiser, casts it back in. What a cast! Going for the kill on the Mord, gets ulted into the Shadow Realm, but kills Set first. Condemn onto the bot laner as well. Bot lane's fighting. They keep fighting, they won't stop. Rift Herald Shelly going for a second charge, but the Gragas goes in on the Mordekaiser, curls them up, and Shelly at the same time saving a lot of damage on that turret, but Gragas will eventually fall to the Zed row. Veigar looking to come up, save some damage on his turn, collect some gold from all these minions, but I don't know if he'll be able to survive a Zed all-in right now. And here it goes, the Zed all-in's coming in, the barrier comes out, will Zed get the damage down? He won't! Zed has to flash out of the turret, Vayne now engaging onto the bot side of the map, but Zed goes back in, and the Zhonya's comes out of the Veigar, and Veigar turns it around with an ulti and a huge shutdown onto that Zed! That's massive! That Veigar's back in the game, and he built armor and lived because of it.
It's absolutely insane seeing that constant fight top lane. One person rotating at a time, and I think a part of that could have turned a lot sooner with Team Billy. If Gragas and Set were on the same page, that they could have won that 2v1, considering Gragas was going in to 2 half-health people with full HP.
Absolutely. I think a little bit better communication from either team there turns that whole fight around, but that's what you get in the heat of the moment, right? You get these very rushed, hurried calls. Everyone's in their own head, tunnel visioning. I gotta make the play. I gotta do this. I gotta save the game. We see another engage, a fairly weak one coming out from Zach here onto the Set, just keeping him from hitting the turret while Zed comes back and collects his minions.
I think it's rather interesting putting the Veigar top side now, and just having him collect waves there. Maybe they believe that it'll be ignored, like top lane's an island, and hopefully he can start scaling.
Well, I
But
don't think Mordekaiser can kill the Veigar. Set engaging on the Zed too. Set's actually, with his Haymaker, so hard to kill for the Zed, but he uses it. But it doesn't matter, the Zed gets ulted. Zed looking for the outplay, but it's not enough. Will he trade 1-for-1? He will. Engage bot lane, huge stretching strike into the Nami wave. But it doesn't matter, Vayne is kiting this Zac down while the Gragas gets a great cast, knocking the Nami back into the team. Breaks the Zac Bloblets, and that man's dead. But the TP coming down, Greg is going back in. This fight's not over yet, I called it too soon. Mordekaiser's in the fight, ulting the Vayne. She can't get away. She's gonna try and kite her butt off, but it's not enough. Mordekaiser is a fun champion.
in both these games, we've been seeing this Mordekaiser take such a vital role. It's kind of astonishing seeing him just take up that Vayne, who we like put up to be this big carry, and 1v1 her
With those
with a lot of
items.
ease.
While she has summoners up, absolutely. Mordekaiser's super strong right now, and I can't ignore that Bramble Vest really doing a lot to reduce the healing out of the Vayne, out of the Set, and out of the Gragas if he ever ulted.
Cutting huge amounts of damage with from the auto attacks.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man. We did see Zed fall a second time, still looking to get his... Really trying to snowball his advantage very desperately. His team really needs to get ahead, and right now they're right on the cusp of that, missing their power spike for the, what will now be, Mountain Soul.
I'm curious when we can start seeing the ramp start coming online. Like, we haven't seen him do a immense amount of damage with his ulti in a team fight yet, because they haven't been having these huge team fights that he can play into.
It's gonna be so hard for him too. He's actually managed to close a lot of the CS discrepancy, where it was once close to 45 or 50. It's now closed down to 30 only, which is actually a really impressive feat, seeing as that lane should still be very dangerous for him. But I don't know if that's going to be enough for him to put on a big show in these team fights. He's really going to have to hit some big ultis and some clutch seers to make it work.
And same with the Zac, actually. He's done a great job catching back up in CS. He used to be at over a 20 CS deficit, and now he's back comfortably within 10 CS, a camp or two.
Okay, so now, while it looks like we might actually have a bit of a lull state here, who do you think is ahead in this game, and who do you think is going to win?
So, I think currently, Blue's ahead, and they should be trying to get as much vision as they possibly can on the map around objectives. And if they're looking for a way to win this, especially considering scaling to late, Veigar, no matter what, is going to become a issue for very squishy people, and Vayne is going to scale still.
Yeah, this Vayne's just like, she's not going to fall off for the rest of this game. She's only going to keep getting stronger. She's only going to keep getting tankier, too.
So they went about and shut her down twice.
Yeah, exactly. And even she only has one more damage item to buy. Vayne, obviously, from this point on, will keep building items that do damage. But every item after her Ginsu's is going to make her harder to kill. On top of the Lulu, on top of the exhaust, that just makes this insurmountable. But we see the bubble hitting mid lane, forcing the Veigar flash out while the Zac engages. Nami tidal wave will go wide.
Well, with the Nami tidal wave out, I think that might make it so that Red can look to fight, possibly, if they could rotate some assets up mid side.
Yeah, it's a big engage tool down. We see another engage from the Mordekaiser onto the Set. Set's gonna walk as close to his turret as possible, trying to get away, trying to survive, trying to get the ulti down. Haymaker might save him here, will it? He doesn't even need to use it, he will flash away. Mordekaiser trades his ulti for ulti flash. Big engage onto the Veigar, but Lulu's there to protect him. Flash over from the Gragas. And the Veigar blows his Zhonya's. Nothing will come of it, but a lot of used ultis from Team Billy. Another engage down bot lane. Haymaker's trying to protect him. Gets pulled back into the turret. Both will live with sub 100 HP.
these top lane titans brawling it out this entire game. It's really absurd seeing the set go at him with very little goals compared to him, honestly.
Absolutely. Just can't stop, won't stop. That top lane is a brawl fest, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon, no matter how many solo kills someone gets. Vayne continues to scale. Goes in onto the Brand. Wait, he's just gonna kill him. The Brand, the Nami ult's back up though. The Vayne goes too far. Oh my god, she dies to turret. Nami secures the kill. Assist going to Brand. A little bit of an overstep from Vayne, but holy cow, was that damage absurd, and it's only getting worse.
Honestly, that was really clutch save from the Nami, being able to come up there, throw her ult out, and stop that entire engage. It might
I think
be.
they came up like right as they dove the turret too. The Vayne
Yeah.
didn't know what was happening. She's like, "Oh, Nami ult's down," and she has flash still. She didn't know what happened. Great play by Nami.
Absolutely. That might serve to be a huge issue later on when Vayne goes out and tries to secure those kills and get those picks. If Nami can just disengage like that, it might serve to be a huge issue with her coming online later on.
Absolutely. We see the Gragas trying to come in here. He's not going to survive very long. He gets ulted by the Zed. Gets ulted by the Lulu, though. Tries to throw the barrel in to steal the ulti. Forces a lot of summoners out here. An okay attempt from the Gragas, but in the end, he will come up with nothing in hand. That is the third dragon going over to Ravenous Kumquats. And this is their win condition now. They need to get Mount Soul before they get outscaled. And they need to use that to push a Baron and then break the base convincingly. Probably with a 1-3-1 or a 4-1.
Honestly, I'm quite surprised that they didn't try to get tons of vision topside for that Baron, honestly.
Yeah, right now I think the game's been so hectic with so many fights and random engages. I think people are just having lapses in judgment when it comes to warding.
This set actually caught up. Like I blink and the set caught up.
Yeah, wait, he's ahead in farm. Okay, got it.
Farm, yeah.
All right, and he's building MR against the quad MR team. This is the worry, especially, here's the issue. It's not just the Mountain Soul that's important. It's the fact that if Team Billy starts getting Mountain Dragons, all their stacked magic resist and anti-Zed items are going to start applying multiplicatively. You're going to get that extra percentage armor and MR from that Mountain Dragon, and you are just going to be way too hard to kill. They already have the Ocean Soul giving them a little bit of HP regen. Not too consequential, but once you start stacking, if you stack 2 Mountain Dragons, it doesn't matter who gets the soul. That's like an extra 300 HP per champion on the side of Team Billy, and that's just normally too much for a Zed to overcome.
I'm surprised that both mid laners currently haven't upgraded their boots. It seems
all right.
pretty
You know
strange.
what? Good spot. I have no idea. I think Veigar's mindset here is that they don't need penetration.
Yeah.
And they are going to need Merc Treads for damage eventually, but they don't need the MR now. On the side of Zed, I would like to see Moby Boots to snowball his advantage earlier, but at this point, there's no reason to upgrade them. So he might just be holding out and being like, I already have 40% CDR, boots are irrelevant to me.
So, as far as the comps are going, it seems like this set keeps on scaling, and he's becoming a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. The Zed forced to run away from the set can't actually do the 1-3-1, can't side lane against the set, and that's a problem. He needs to side lane against someone whom he can actually kill. So they need to find a way to put the Mordekaiser into set, and then to put the Zed into whatever comes to answer, be it the Veigar, the Gragas, the Vayne. And they need to run this 1-3-1, and they need to try and run with it. We see another engage. Holy cow, the Brand is dead, but so is the Veigar. Veigar's gonna die. No, he's not. He's gonna flash only as the barrier, as the Lulu shield. He's gonna live. He gets hit by the Nami bubble and falls down 1-for-1 in the mid lane. Zach's gonna try and jump out, but the set's rotating to try and stop him. Nami's getting predatored on by the Gragas, and that's a fast Batman. Flash ult by the set. Nami will flash over the wall, but the Zach won't be so lucky. That's a juggler falling, and the Mordekaiser's TPing in, but this is a risky spot. Mordekaiser's coming in, but the Zach falls down. The Mordekaiser's looking for an engage. He gets condemned in the wall. His ulti goes on his set, but I don't know if it's enough to kill him. And the Mordekaiser wins the 1v1, turning it in his favor.
So, going in and teleporting in into that spot in particular, that's a really weak spot on the map. If the enemy has a lot of established pressure and like control over that area, it's really hard to get yourself in there and be able to win a fight.
Yeah, and that makes, like, it just chokes like that can be very difficult. That's also, notably, the second time we've seen Mordekaiser TP do a Zach blob in an instance in which I'm like, okay, they're just leave him to die, and then he'd go in. This time it didn't work out. The first time it looked way better. So I think it's just like they're throwing themselves at the wall and seeing what sticks right now. They're trying their best to snowball this advantage, but that is so difficult when that Vigar just looks at your Brand the wrong way and he's dead. What's that Brand to do there? He cannot walk in range of that Vagar. He cannot get stunned, and he can't be anywhere near that cage.
I think it's really dangerous for them to be throwing away.
Cass comes out, knocks the Brand into the team, though. I'm sorry to interrupt you. That Brand has to flash out, gets out of the cage. The big Brand ult, too. Answering damage down. Now we're looking at the Soul fight. Clearing the pink wards. They have a pink ward of their own. They now have... Team Billy now has Dragon control, looking to contest Soul Point from the side of Ravenous Kumquats. But Ravenous Kumquats coming back in after getting healed up by that Nami, making it really difficult. They aggro the Dragon, trying to put some pressure onto this fight, force it to happen as soon as possible. Gragas has no ulti, but he's on the flank. He has Flash, and he has Predator up. He might walk into the Zed. The set interrupts the Zac engage, though, and the Mordekaiser's all alone. He's dead, and the set's still 1v4 in the backline, takes down the Nami. This fight's over.
What a beautiful separation.
The Zac can't quite steal the Dragon despite his best efforts, and now Zed's caught. Zed's going looking for the Vagar, but the Vagar, he will fall. The Zed will fall in response, though. Now that's a 4v2 on the map, and they can actually look for Baron.
Especially with the Bane up, Bane makes it so that Baron is gonna melt, honestly, if they did go for it.
I think they should. I don't know if they will because they're still a little worried about the Zac being up and the Brand has ulti again. But it's a really big advantage in seeing if they can actually bait it out right now. The engage onto the Brand, this might be it. This might be what does it for them. The Brand ult's bouncing, but the set doesn't care. He's got Haymaker. Now the Nami's caught by the Dragon. The Zac going in, trying to peel for his Nami with the wave. But it's back to a 4 versus 5 on the map with the Vagar respawning right now.
A bit of an overstep from that Brand there, walking straight forward. He expected to do a lot more with his ulti, but it's still not up there in damage.
Yeah, and I think he's looking to build into the Zhonya's right now. I think he's hurting for the lack of support Brand itemization, as weird as that sounds. Support Brand doesn't need mana because of the support item and his playstyle, but this Brand needs mana to clear waves, so he doesn't get to build Leandri's first. He doesn't get to build Rylai's after that and really make his damage unbearable.
Also, support synergy is kind of big here. The Nami's still rushing a Ardent, even though that she doesn't have a auto attack based carry at all. So
yeah.
I think she should have gone for like a redemption there, which would have offered a lot more team play and usability, honestly, for
better yet, here you can get a Mikhail's, and you can just negate one of those Vagar cages, or you can negate the main Pidem, or the Lulu polymorph, which is also getting to be Lulu's level 12, so that's nearly a 2-second CC now. I think that's just it shows what is likely malpractice, or like a lack of practice rather, on this bot lane. It seems like the Brand pick was much more of something that they said, hey, we need something to oppress them bot lane because last game XYZ happened and we need more magic damage. What can we do? And they're like, I can play Brand, and we went from there.
It's very tough looking at a game like this and seeing that Vayne's still in it, and both teams are wicked even, and we're going past the 30-minute point right here. It's going to be very difficult from this point on for blue team to start fighting.
Yeah, I think Ravenous Kumquats have really missed their power spike at this point. They're into the 3-item territory, and as we mentioned when we were discussing the champion picks, 3 items is when this becomes close to unwinnable team fight-wise. You are not able to take a 5v5 team fight as Ravenous Kumquats at this point in the game. There's not going to be any way to kill this Vayne once that Phantom Dancer is done. Between the Lulu and her own abilities and the 600-point Phantom Dancer shield, it's just going to be far too oppressive. And on top of that, the CC is just not even.
I think something that they could have looked for a support pick would have been something like the Pike that could have offered that like AD execution alongside the poke. So like it gives kill pressure to the lane as opposed to just becoming a poke lane trying to harass them out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We do see an engage coming in here on the set. The Mordekaiser will ult the set into the death run, but the Zack's now left alone with the Vayne. And the Vayne is tearing him apart. Shadow Realm will end. Set's still alive, but the Vayne, she's untouched. She's getting hit by the Brand ult though. She's getting chunked down by it. She might burn to death. Meanwhile, in the middle of the fight, as Frag is engaged, gets a great ult. Zed ults him back for it. Zed getting nuked down by the Veigar. Dodges everything. Zed's still alive somehow though. Veigar flashing in, looking for the kill, but it looks like they'll just disengage. 2 for 2 on the fight.
For all I've been talking about this Brand, that ulti actually...
The Brand gets slowed, it's not over yet. They won't stop fighting, and he will fall down to the Veigar burst. So close. So far. That's Mountain's point. That's a 2 versus 3 advantage on the map. The Vayne is spawning before everyone else, and she will be able to join that fight before everyone save the Mordekaiser TP. And that Lulu is just looking so much stronger than the Janna right now. She has so much more CC over the course of extended fights, and so much more damage, and so much more shielding and buffs. Now, and important to note here, there's no Gragas here, but there is a Zac, so they can't actually go to kill this dragon. They don't know that Zac's smite isn't up. Zac's smite up in about 2 seconds. They have to wait for this Gragas to get here, or else the Zac can very easily steal it. But this Veigar can't interrupt. Oh, it will interrupt the Zaki. He can't go in.
Well,
that's 3-3 on Dragon. That's 2,000 gold worth of defensive stats from those 2 dragons on the TB side. Team Billy is just looking thick. Like,
so now that this game has gone to a state where they're really even, and even dragons have evened up, the pressure is really on for Ravenous to be able to get this next Drake and finally like have a winning team fight that goes in their favor.
Absolutely. The only... I think that Ravenous Kumquats really need to split the map here. They can't take 5v5s. The opposing team is just... The only reason the last 5v5 was close is because they were in a choke. Brand got an incredible ulti and a Pillar of Flame onto the Vayne and nuked her all the way down to 0 HP before she burned to death at the end of the fight, I believe.
Yeah.
And the Zed had massive outplays, dodging every single skill shot out of the Gragas and the Veigar, and just putting on a show in the backline, and they still went even in the team fight. And it was until they got caught running away, which is another issue. The Veigar has Spooky Ghost, the Veigar has GLP, and the Brand is going to get engaged on by the Vayne, and he can't do anything because Vayne 4-shots him. Vayne's still looking for more, going to get Nami tidal wave out, but the set now is keeping up on the chase, trying to zone them out.
Team Billy's doing a really great job answering most counter pushes, honestly. They throw the right person against who Ravenous sends.
You see the Zed and the Mordekaiser split Virginia. This is the right play. trading 1 kill for 2 turrets would have been worth it. Unfortunately, they don't respect the fact that they can rotate quite as fast as they do. Brand gets picked out, and now the Mordekaiser gets picked off too without getting the top lane inhib turret. But they're doing the right thing. They know what they need to do to win this game. They know they can't 5v5. They know that Brand is capable of wave clearing. The only thing I would change is I think I'd have Zac shadowing one of these side lanes with Sweeper and Pink Wards and just trying to make a pick when they come for it.
With Dragon not being on the map for a while, it seems like the only objective that Ravenous slash Team Billy can play around would be Baron, so they're kind of ignoring that, knowing that both sides just have enough of a fight that it will become an utter bloodshed.
Yeah, and if you're watching as a fan at home here, you may have seen a couple instances in this game where Team Billy has a chance 4 versus 5 to take the Baron, but they don't go for it. And I would guess that the reason they're not going for these, what you would say is like probably like 75, 80% Barons, is that why risk it? They're outscaling this game. They don't need Baron to win. They just need to not lose, and the longer they don't lose, the easier this game becomes. There is no way that this game will be remotely close at 6 items. That Vayne don't care, she won't die, she's got her QSS. The Brand's just getting one shot by the Gragas. He doesn't care. Gives the kill to Vayne, gets more gold. Great play from this Gragas, just running him down with the Lulu speed. And the Brand can't do anything either. Like, what's he gonna do?
Great point. With the whole idea that they don't need to force anything. They could just keep on scaling, and they're going to be in a comfortable position that no matter what happens, they should come out on top.
And now here they have pushed top lane. There's no threat bot lane. Veigar's just going to one-shot the Nami. Good vision play. And there's nothing they can do. The Zac's going to come try in to get into this pit. The Veigar's going to walk up. He's going to try and cage where the Zac would jump in. But the Zac actually gets into the pit. Oh my god, that smite puts it to 43 HP, but Gragas will secure the Baron. Looking for the kill on the Zac will fall down. I don't think Mord wants to TP into this one, though. Mordekaiser on the base, Zed looking to backdoor something, maybe, hopefully. He's looking for any play he can make, maybe catching out someone as they retreat into the base. At the very least, he will take the enemy jungle because there's nothing he can do on the map right now. But there's another problem, Mount Soul spawning in 15 seconds, and it's a 4 versus 5 on the map.
With no jungler in sight for a blue team here, it's going to be a huge issue. I think they have to concede it, which is going to just add on top of their problems with the scaling comp.
I don't think they, I think they need to try and steal this. Like, this Mordekaiser TPing in here looks super in. He doesn't make it there in time anyways. Vayne's too massive. It's a great engage from the Brandol, getting a lot of damage down onto the carries, but it's too little too late. Mountain Soul's here. Phantom Dancer will proc. Zed actually gets the kill on Vayne. Great play from the Zed, but I don't think it's enough. There's too much tanky stats. How is a Zed meant to kill someone? Through triple Mount Drake, Mountain Soul. And the Vayne looks like she's building a Randuin's. It doesn't matter though. That set's just engaging. Zed's going in onto the Zac. The Zac's got so much CC. He's unstoppable. He's stuck in the cage though. Baby cage, no rage. Tries to jump out. And he will get away.
Looking towards red side, their tanks have their MR items now. They've done what they need to. They can fight frontline and not worry about dying at all, especially with this huge buff from the mountain.
Absolutely. This Mountain Dragon is giving how much right now? Let me look up how much damage. This Mountain Soul is absurd. So not only does, just the Gragas here is getting a 350 point shield from the Mountain Soul, but he's also getting the 6, 12, 18% stat buff as well. 18% armor MR to this team. And that's just too much. Vayne's building a GA. Vayne's not gonna die. She's gonna die once, even if she does, and then she's gonna revive, and Lulu's gonna look at her like, Imbigify! And she's gonna be fully taken. There's nothing you can do. I really want to see some like G2-esque play, or some like Season 3 high on Zed level play coming out of RK here. But we do see the Nami getting caught out, and what's she gonna do? She's just gonna get body slammed by a Gragas and one shot by him. She tries to live. Grag does force Gragas to use his ulti at least. That's a win.
Nami
As far
honestly
as-
has had an excellent game throughout this. She's landed Qs where they needed to, and on top of that, her ulti plays have been very good. It's a shame to see her caught out there.
Yeah. I think the story of this game is the story of draft. We do see the flash ulti onto the Veigar. Trying to go in, the Zack's getting destroyed though. Vey doesn't care about the Zack, she's just walking past him. Meanwhile, in the baby cave, there's... Zed tries to go into the Vayne, but it doesn't matter. The Vayne's full HP, getting healed up by the Lulu. Can't die, turns onto Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser will fall. Gragas is taking the turret, tries to flash in, but the Zack will interrupt it. Zack will fall now. Set, huge flash in onto 2. Pulling back 2 with the face breaker. No Haymaker up yet. Trying to survive. Almost gets Nami bubble, but the Haymaker's up. Pulls back in. Nami trying to live, but he's just not gonna die. The Lulu shield keeps him alive. Zed's going in, looks for the kill, gets Polymorph. Vayne turns onto him. Gragas is gonna go down. They might actually be turning this fight. Vayne will die. What an incredible turn.
What a super hectic team fight there.
The flash comes in onto the Lulu. Oh my god, my voice is dying.
Especially with how much action's been going on, I'm not surprised, honestly. It's constant fighting at this point, and that's what this really is. This is their last dying effort, trying to stop this from going to red for the victory here.
Yeah, Team Billy getting a little bit overeager there. The set chasing too far. The Gragas not respecting the turret damage, which is AD damage. He is itemized against MR. It's not a great team at diving turrets just because you can't stack armor. It's nowhere near as bad as last game. And the Zed coming in at the perfect time there, cleaning up all the kills, making big plays, really showing why they first picked Zed 2 games in a row. But I just don't know if the champion does enough at this point in the game against this itemization. The Vayne has her heal up. She's gonna have her flash up for the next fight. She's got GA. She's got Phantom Dancer. She's got QSS for what that matters, for the Mortal, for the Brand Stun, for the Nami Bubble. And then she's got a Lulu, who has Exhaust now. I don't know how they could possibly kill her.
The Zed being comped into this is kind of strange with the fact that you have 2 really tanky people and 2 AP spellcasters. So on paper it makes sense, but it's just the whole idea that he's their only AD front of damage, and he can only do single target damage, really.
We see an engage going in top lane. The Gragas and the Zed 1v1ing in a very strange misadventure, but we see the Zed TP in and Lulu show up and the Zed's dead. And that just reeks of desperation. Zed's like, ooh, Zhonya's used Gragas used Zhonya's too early. I might have a chance to make a play here, but little does he know the Gragas was just baiting him the whole time. We see Elder Drake spawning in 48 seconds as well, and Baron's already up. And Zed, really, like, they have to make the plays, and they're not here.
Looks like red side's ready to contest for this Baron, no matter what.
No, they certainly have to, because if they lose it, they lose the game. Great stun onto the oh my, what? The Veigar might die here. Is he gonna die? He's gonna, no, not gonna die. I don't know what happened to that Brand. I'll be honest. I think he might have died in a single frame. I can't cast that. Don't ask me to cast that. Where'd he go? Where'd that guy go?
Mordekaiser's pushing at the time.
Yeah, Mordekaiser's trying to do some G2 stuff on the other side of the map. Trying to get some turrets. I respect it. It feels like G2 mad. This game's over, but they don't want to give up yet. Trying their best. The Zet's actually winning this now. That Haymaker shield's massive. The Mordekaiser just can't deal with the Bork and the all the lifesteal coming out of that set.
The death stance is really what made that like kind of turn suddenly. He went from having such low HP to having his whole health bar.
Oh, and that's great. Dragon's Barrel into the walls of the cage. Secures Elder Dragon. Secures Baron. This is just the death push. I don't know what can stop this right now. I'm pretty sure Zed dies to 2 auto attacks. Like, this Elder Dragon's unstoppable. There's so much extra stats coming out on the side of Team Billy that they have to be able to close off this push. It's just, they're too strong. The Veigar, all 3 shots turrets with autos.
The
I mean,
Veigar
just give you
cage
guys
placement's amazing.
Veigar does have 1200 HP. I want everyone to know this. Veigar does not care. And they're just going to keep Doom pushing down mid lane. They need to find a pick, maybe on the Veigar, he is low. And Zac sees that, goes in, gets the giant CC onto the Vayne and the Veigar. But Vayne doesn't care, she's getting Lulu ulted, going onto the Mordekaiser, destroys him, onto the Zac now. Zac's audience just, Zed's going in now too, it doesn't matter, Vayne hasn't lost any HP or a GA. Vayne diving turret, it doesn't matter.
This
She's
1v9 story.
again. She still has GA. Let's not forget there's 4 other champions. Zed getting flashed on. Fred getting flashed on actually. Zed's still in the fountain. Zed still has his shield up. He can't find a way into this fight. He's looking with all his heart. He has his mind's eye on it, but it doesn't matter, and the Nexus will fall. Team Billy, 2-0 over Ravenous Kumquats.
Team Billy did an amazing job this time, especially playing around their advantage and not bleeding too much after that really rocky start with the Zed getting ahead.
For sure. I think this game, it really shows why certain casters will really incentivize people to take late game scaling team comps. Ravenous Kumquats did a really good job in the early game, save for the misstep spot lane, to get the Zed ahead, get their champions, especially the Mord and the Zed, into a spot where they need to be to solo carry. But the issue is, if your team play and your macro is not perfect with these 2-item soul spike comps, and you mess up once, like we saw here, we saw them mess up on 2 separate dragon fights, which allowed the Vayne team and the Lulu team and the Veigar team to scale ahead of them. It does not matter how well you played in the early game, and it does not matter how well you're playing in the late game, because the stat deficiency is just too massive.
The huge part that I was surprised about with the answer for the Vayne being a brand, there are other mages that can, if they still wanted to draft a mage, they could have drafted something like the Syndra, or honestly, Cassiopeia wouldn't be too bad into the this hyper carry. We've been seeing a lot more Syndras and a lot more Cassiopeias showing up in our bot lane, and if he could have came up with that instead, I think we could have seen a different story, honestly.
Absolutely, and that's not forgetting the fact that thanks to the Mord and Zac and Nami, they don't actually need AP damage. So I think they could have gotten away with a regular AD carry as well, but perhaps there's the fear of getting Kog'Maw from the Kog'Maw Lulu lane, and
Absolutely.
that lane sucks. I don't like playing that lane as a Nami ever.
I don't think there's ever a point where you're excited to be against a hyper carry and a Lulu. Like,
Exactly.
you look at the game and you see the Lulu get drafted, and the Lulu got drafted in the first phase, and there was no hyper carry to go with it. So it's really hard to ban out all the people that can possibly go with that. But looking at the match history, the Team Billy does play the Vayne, so they might have wanted to look to ban that out instead of something like the Misfortune in the second phase.
Absolutely. So lots of stuff to work on for both teams here. Interesting game. We'll be moving on to our last game of the night now, and we will catch up with you in a few minutes.